Okay, so today we will be gonna discussing different type of joins in the that are available through ProcSQL and also through horizontal joins and also the vertical joins that we have the availability through ProcSQL. Okay, and in the last class I did not cover the Cartesian product. So let me start with this one, and after that we will see different type of joins and rest of the things. Okay, so I hope you are all able to see my screen.
Yes, Arun.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So there is a bit difference between data step merging and the proxyql joins. So here is a couple of differences that I have listed out. So in my base session videos, I cover this merge features in very deep, and there are if you guys have gone through it, you do guys already know that before doing merging into the data step, we have to sort this data through proc sort with the by values that we want to merge with the data. Okay, and it requires actually common variable, and duplicate columns get automatically overlaid. Like if you have 2x or two columns in two data sets, then you have in the output you have only one column that is the same. Okay, so unless we specify any print command or create a data set through that merging, we will not be have any output. Okay, but in case of join, this is very similar to merge, but it has a very less complexity as compared to data step. So into the proxyqls, there is no need to sort your data using by values. So you don't need to be aware of like proc sort, and you need to sort your data by values and something like that. Okay, and it also does not require any common variable. That is also a special case. Otherwise, it will be a you know different kind of join where you won't have any common variable, but you have combining these two data sets horizontally. And in the join features, we have a duplicate matching column. We will see in a couple of next slides that duplicate columns will not be get automatically overlaid. If you have a x variable in two data sets, then after joining you would be have 2x in your output. Okay, and it would print your data or your finally joined data into a report or into the as a proc print format. Okay, so let's start with the Cartesian product, like what it is actually. So whenever we are try to combine those two tables, like as I specified over here, as maybe you can see, if I have two tables named with the 1 and 2, and if I want to combine these two, then I have to simply write select star from 1, and there should be a comma, and after that the second table name or view name. Okay, after that it will give you the combination. Okay, let's see the output, like how does it work. As of now, I have created two dummy data sets, A and B. Okay, and is my SAS editor font is viewable to you, or should I need to increase the size of my font?
It's readable.
Okay, see, this is the kind of output that we are about to get. Let me go through the data that I just created. Okay, these are the two data sets. Okay, okay, in which I have id, name and sex, and another one I have is id1, name 1 and sex 1. Okay. Oh, I created, just a second, let me sort it for you. Let's make it salary so that you will not be confused. Okay. Okay. So as I said, into that slide, that the same column name would not be automatically overlaid. As you can see, if these three are the part of a table name, and this is for the table B. Okay. So both of these have two columns common, ID and name, and so that's why in the join also we are having these two columns as well. Okay. So if you can see, this output a little bit seems messy, but let me try to explain this, like how does it happening. Okay. Suppose that this is my data set. Okay. I do have a table 1 and I do have a table 2. Whenever I use this command, select star from 1 comma 2, it gives you Cartesian product like this. It start with first row and it gives you this output, first row as like this. Okay. When it start to move on, it join the first row of first data set get merged with the second row of second data set. Similarly with the third observation, now it comes to the second observation of first table, and so on. Okay. So it will give you all possible combination that SAS can produce from one or two. It is because SAS does not know like what is your significance or what is your requirement. So it gives you all of the combination from these two tables. Okay, so this is your final output. This is called as your Cartesian product. Okay. So it similarly like this, it would give you a neural kind of network. Okay, it will compare all of the observation with all of the observation of a second data set. Okay, so if we have three rows into the table 1 and similarly three rows into the table B, then automatically we do have 9 rows in total. Okay, so this is all about the Cartesian product. As per your requirement, we filter this data accordingly and we will have the output. Okay, but SAS also provide, or the database joins that we have, it has provided a little bit flexibility to us. Instead of giving this Cartesian product in the backend, we will have certain keywords that we can use to control these number of observation in the output, and we can achieve our target whatever we want to have. Okay, suppose say it is only for 3 rows, and suppose say if you are really working on a big data, like I usually work on 50 lakhs of rows. So if I using 50 lakhs in table 1 and 50 lakh in table 2, and if I do the Cartesian product, that you can easily take a guess like how many observation I would have, and sometimes server can be break down. Okay, so this is a roughly figure that how many observation that you would have. Okay, so this was all about the Cartesian product. Is there anyone who has any doubt till now?
No.
Okay, okay, let's start with the join first of all. Okay, so we have basically two types of join into the proxycle. the classification is the start from inner join and outer join. Okay, and there is sub part after that, like in outer join we would have left join and right join, and left join also have further another subtype. This is left anti-join and right anti-join. Some people's call as a left anti-join as left semi-join, so don't be get confused at that time. Okay, we will have all of these joins in detail, and we'll start from there. Okay, first of all, you need to understand this Venn diagram that I am just highlighting right now. Okay, so the circle that my mouse is rolling over, so this is your data set A, okay, or table A, and similarly I do have a circle for table name B. If I want to have a common observations that is highlighted by the blue color, then this is called as inner join. Inner join means like give me the observation that have similar kind of behavior or similar kind of values. Okay, so I do have a table name, table A, and I do have a table B, as you can see over here, in which I do have two columns, ID, name, and salary, and into the table B I do have table ID, name, and sex. Okay, and definitely we are merging two data sets, or two tables or two views, only because we want to have a more information according to the information that we have in a some particular table. Okay, so there is a two kind of procedures we have. If I want to proceed with a Cartesian product, this is specified over here, a comma b, and if I put another condition over here, then I would have certainly this kind of output. I would execute it for you. So let's start with this one. So if you guys can see, like this was my Cartesian product. Okay, that was I produced from only this one. Select star from a comma b. Okay, if I compare these values like id1 and id1 of table A and id1 of table 2. Okay, if these both two are equals, then I would have an inner join, like we do have the same id and same name. Okay, and we would have certainly like this id2 and id1 for the two data sets or table names. Similarly with this one. Okay, so in the backend it will produce a Cartesian product like this, and we start filtering it out on the condition like where a dot id equals b dot id. A dot id means whenever you have a table name A, and if you want to specify any of the column names, then you have to separate it through the A dot. Similarly for table 2, if I produce it, I would get this one, this data. Okay, as you can see, this the duplicate column names would not be overlaid. Okay, so it is up to us, like which ID and which name I need to require from this data. Okay, if I would specify instead of star over here, if I specify I need only ID from table name A, I want only instead of specifying A dot star, and you can have B dot salary. Okay, so let's see the output difference. See, this is my this was my in the backend, this was the Cartesian product. Okay, and after that I put a condition that where this table id should equal to this table id, so that we will have the inner join. And I making another filtration on the basis of the column names. I specify I need only ID, I need only name, and I need only sex, so that I can avoid these duplicate columns. So we would have a certainly table like this, and this is actually our target to have to achieve inner join. Okay. Instead of if you are confusing from these condition by mentioning your Cartesian product. SAS provide you a keyword like inner join. Okay, so what it do is it also do the same thing. Okay, so as this output is same like this one. Okay, again you need to specify the like which columns that you need to have in your output. Okay, and if you specify like a create table statement or create a view statement, then you can have this information into a particular data set or table. Okay, so is there anyone who has any doubt till now?
No.
Okay, the main point is that I just want to give you guys a tip is that like if you guys understand this Venn diagram, then this code would not be anything. You can easily code for the joins. If you guys understand this Venn diagram particularly, then there is a hardly to remember these codes. Okay, and one more thing is that like whenever you are proceeding with the joins, if you are using a particularly keyword, then you have to use on. Okay, then you have to use on. If you are using a particularly Cartesian product form, then you have to use where. Okay, so this is all about the inner join, where you have to have the combine information on the common observations. Okay, let's move with the left join. Is there anyone who can explain this Venn diagram to me?
We contain all the rows from dataset A,
Okay,
I mean from table A, and the common values from table B.
okay. So yes, you are right. Like this Venn diagram actually tells you like I in the output we have also common observations and also the non-common observation that is from table A. Okay, this is how it goes. Okay, okay. If I proceed with this code, I am using a Cartesian product like this. Okay, and I made this code wrong over here. Just a second. Okay, so this is your final output. Okay, let me give you. Okay, so see, I do have these two tables A and B. I have Arun common, Shashi common, Ankit common, and I won't have Janet common. I won't have Janice common. Okay, so in the final data set, definitely we will be having these observation because we are performing a left join. Okay, after that we will have the corresponding values that will pop up. If it won't find the particularly that values, it will start giving the missing values, as you can see. Okay, and as you have a duplicate column names, you can avoid this by mentioning the condition like this. Okay, so this is your left join. These three observations that were the common that we have in this data set. Okay, these are the common observations, and also the these observations, this Janet and Janice, that were not common. Okay, this is this portion. This is not this the portion that is not common. Okay, and is there anyone who can tell me like what is this a on a dot id or equal b dot id? Even over here in the output, I don't have uh, the id common, but it's still giving me the output. Does anyone know what basically on means over here? Okay,
It
okay.
means I think it will give salary when A dot ID equals to B dot ID. I mean when the table A ID will be equals to the table B ID.
No, if you can see over here in the previous slide, when I made this condition a dot id equal b dot id, in the whenever we are working with the particularly joins keyword, we have to use on this on keyword and this condition every time on most of the conditions.
Be- because of the Cartesian product, otherwise it will give all the rows.
No, it not be like that. Instead, if I
Okay.
remove, if I remove this on feature, like, let me remove this one, it would give you an error. Okay, you can check the log and it would say it is expecting a comma, a dot, or as, or on. This is not like that. Okay, so I will leave this topic for you guys. So you have to research like what is this on actually means, and post it over the group. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with so is there anyone who has any doubt till now? Any kind of doubt, like in the Venn diagram interpretation or the left join interpretation? You guys have to understand this Venn diagram. If you guys understand this Venn diagram, there is a no problem in writing the code. Is there anyone else than Priyanka who has any doubt till now? Or okay,
No.
no one has any doubt. Okay. Okay, let's move with the right join. So, other than Priyanka, can anyone explain this Venn diagram for me? If you have understood this Venn diagram concept.
Like similar to the left join, it is like right join. So you will get all the records from right table and
Uh,
only matching records from A table.
okay, so it will produce you a the common observations. Also, this is into the center portion, and also the observation that is not common from table B or table A, that also produced from table B. Okay, so this is the code. Uh, this is my table A and this is my table B. So you will have these observations like this: 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and also the common observations. So Arun, Shashi, and Ankit, these are the common observations, and Alice, Barbara, and Sandy, these are the not common observations. Okay, these are not common, and these are commons. Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. Let's move to the further join. Okay, so this is left anti-join, or some people also, call it as left anti or semi-join, because there is a semicircle. The highlighted with blue color, that circle, this is a not complete circle. That's why it is called as a left semi-join or left anti-join. So, who is next? Who can explain me this Venn diagram?
It's actually giving all the observation from A. Who's
Okay, so
okay. All the observation from table A which are not in table B
okay,
and not common.
okay. So you are right. Okay, so it means to say like these two observations, Janet and Janice, is not a part of table B. Okay, that's why we are getting from table A, and we will have this output. I would send these slides to you and just make your own code, and after that you try to have these outputs. Okay, and let me discuss this another condition that I mentioned over here. If I go to my previous code, if I remove this one, just a second. Janice. Okay, so this is was my left join. Okay, if I remove these observations, these last two observations, 4 and 5, then I would get a left anti-join, right? Mm, oh, sorry. If I remove this the non-missing values, if I remove this first three observations, then I would get these two observations. This is a part of table A, but these two observations are not common in the table A and table B. Okay, so what I need to put is that a where condition where b dot id. So this id column actually belongs to the table B, where b dot id is null. Okay, so in the output we would have these two observation in final. Okay, so I have to mention another command like this, where b dot id is null. Okay, and after that you can mention like which columns you want in your final output. Then accordingly you will have your own target table that you want to have. Okay, so these are all about joins. Similarly with the right anti-join, I hope you guys understand it Venn diagram clearly. So in the right anti-join, you would have a observation that are not a part of A. Okay, that all the unique observations from B that are not a part of table A. Similarly, you can make a condition where a dot id is null. Okay, it is very natural. Okay, so this is blank. This whole A is blank. Okay, if you mention this where a dot id is null, this id is null, you would have this one. Okay, if you understand this Venn diagram clearly, this is nothing. This code is nothing. You can easily type. Okay, and one more thing is this. I forget to tell you guys, like if you can see over here, this id column is not sorted. Okay, 897 is not sorted, but in the output you would have a sorted data 789. Just keep a note of it. Whenever interviewer asks you like what would be my output, then you have to arrange it accordingly to order, as in like order by statement. Okay, so full and final, we come across. Let's discuss first of all full join, and we after that a one join that we will be left with. So this is your full join. Is there anyone who can tell me what is full join?
Uh, it gives all the observation from both the table.
Uh, okay, so it gives you actually a combinations of non-matching as well as the common variables. Okay.
Uh,
So you can make a condition over here where a dot id. I did not put any condition over here, so that if you guys can make a condition over here like where this a dot id or b dot id equal 1 or equal or non-equal. Okay, so it would start fetching all of these rows and give you a table like this. Okay, and you can make a condition over here. Let's move to full anti-join. Okay guys, so let me know what is this. full anti-join? Is there anyone who can explain full anti-join?
Uh,
It give all the observation from both the table,
the dataset
but
which are
it will
not
not give
common.
one observation.
Okay. So the observation that are not common a part of from the table A and table B, and okay, uh, this is your table. So this is my table. So the common observation are 1 to 3, Arun, Shashi and Ankit, Arun, Shashi and Ankit. So that would not be a part of my final output. I would have only Janet, Janice, and I would have Alice, Barbara, and Sandy. Okay. You can filter your data according to observation that you want to have. Okay. And also you guys may be aware of the Calise function that you mainly use to treat missing values. Does anyone know Calise function? So this is COALESCE.
Yes, it will provide first non-missing value.
Okay. So what it exactly do is like whenever it you know get stuck with a missing value, it impute this missing value with another value. You can specify another value, or you can specify another variable you want to replace with that missing value. Okay, so generally syntax of this Calise function is this. There are two types of Calise. Suppose say a dot b. This is the kind of syntax that this function use. So if it stuck with a missing value in A, then it will gonna be replaced by the B. Similarly like this, because I don't have the clear interpretation. I use it very long time ago. Similarly, we do have a different function, Calise, same like Calise, and there is an extra C, okay, and the same type of arguments like this. Okay, so Calise is actually used to treat numerical missing values, and there is an extra C that would tell you that this is dealing with particularly with characters. So this extra C is character, abbreviated form C as in character. Okay, so this was all about your horizontal joins. Okay, so is there anyone who has any doubt till now? Any kind of doubt? Okay. Okay, and while I was covering these merge type of concepts into the in my base as sessions, I have write the same kind of output. How can you achieve through base as? So I have provided an XLS files. Maybe some of the group members have. If not, they will share it with you. Otherwise, I will share, and try to have the same results through the base as well. Because whenever interviewer asks you like how can I achieve a left antigen through a base as, how can I achieve that? Okay, this is the most frequent question, and this is the far most important topics into the proc SQL. This is mainly asked in every type of interview. Okay, so let's talk about combining tables vertically, as it is called also as concatenation. If you guys have the information while using it into a base as. Okay, so let's start with combine tables vertically. So is there anyone who can tell me like where it is actually used? Like if I have two data sets, and and there is some requirement, and how can I get interpret like should I join it horizontally or should I join it vertically?
When there are common column headers, then you can join the table horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have mm, no, I'm not sure. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. And I'm glad that at least you have tried. And guys, don't be afraid of like if someone is knows better and you don't know anything. Don't be shy any kind of things like this. Just share like even I was at your level or maybe worse than your level, so I practice very far and I achieved this level. Okay, so vertically tables joining actually requires when you have a kind of stacking the two tables when you have actually time is dealing with, okay, or time series data you have. Suppose say you are working into a HR department and you are been asked to give me last quarter data sets, last quarter information, then definitely you would be concatenate January, February, and the March data sets like into a vertically or stacking format like this. You would have a January table, then you have a February, then you have a March table, then you all of them assign all of them get joined vertically, and then you present it to your business person whoever requires this information. Okay, so it also has a significance into this clinical trials. Whenever a person get treated with some treatment in January and similarly with another treatment in January, and whenever they need to figure it out like what type of treatment is really achieving, which treatment is actually good. So so this type of situation when arises, then you have to combine your tables vertically. Okay, so these are the information that I have listed around. Okay, so final table would be like a combination of table 1 and table 2. Okay, so select data from multiple tables you can mention in this, and combine tables vertically. ProcSQL can be a efficient alternative to using other SAS procedures or the data stack. So ProcSQL joins are the most efficient kind of joins that you have the available into SAS. So whenever I don't think that into the industry you would have try to merge only 5 rows or 10 rows. Definitely you are merging like more than 1 lakh rows. So always use the preference to use ProcSQL. Okay, you would have a grasp on these joins as long as you practice. Okay, so let's start with the basic syntax. Like, what is the syntax of this? If you guys remember, while combining horizontally, I mentioned either a comma b or the joins keyword, inner join, left join, and I made another condition like this. Into this one, for particularly vertically tables, I need to have mentioned a set operator and then a another information that is from b. This is not only b, this is select star from b, and this is also a select star from a. Okay, then after that a quit statement, you would have this information. Okay, so as like joins, we have a four subtypes of vertically joins. These are named as except, another one is intersect, another one is union, and another one is outer union. And there also is two optional keyword that you have available through SAS, or maybe other language also uses. This is CORR. This is also abbreviated as corresponding and all. Okay, I will talk about these two features later on. Let's talk about these functions or these joins. Okay, so guys, try to explain me this Venn diagram. Who is going to try? If you rotate it, you would get a left anti-join.
It will give all the observation from A except the common and the observation from B table.
Okay, so these are, it is giving you non-common observation that are not a part of B. Okay, so
Okay.
syntax is very simple, as that you are working into your daily life. It simply, you are asking cells to give me the information from A which is not a part of B. Okay, so it gives you like this information. So fourth and fifth are not a part of this table B, and you will have this one. If someone is struggling any kind of doubt in any kind of join, just ask me, and otherwise it will gonna be mess up in your
So,
mind. Yes.
so for this kind of giant, there will be same column headers have to
Yeah.
be there.
Yes. if
Okay.
if there is no similar column names, then you have another set operators that to deal with. Okay, I would come to that point.
Okay.
Okay, and one more thing that you guys have to remember, like these column properties or the column attributes should be same while joining. Either you are working into the horizontal joins, or either you are working into the vertical joins, or even you are working into the merging or concatenation. Whenever there is a requirement to join your data sets either vertically or horizontally through base S or advanced S, just keep in mind that your column attributes should be same. Okay, so this is your accept. Let's talk about intersect. Who is going to try intersect?
Common rows
Only the
from both
common.
the tables.
Okay, so common observation, these are Arun, Shashi and Ankit. These are the common observation that I have. Okay, these are the same column attributes, and this is the syntax. Whenever you get confused, in writing the same code into a single long line, you can break it into a many lines. Okay, just for your own convenience, so that you will not be confused. So you will have a information from A, then you mention a intersect keyword, then also you will specify another information from B, all information, and then equal statement. Then you will have this kind of output. Okay, and I also forget to give you a uh, a backend processing for the same. So whenever you are dealing with particularly with vertically joins, what it exactly do is uh, it st- it would have a information from A. Okay, and similarly it would have a information from B. Okay, so before joining through the set operator, what it do is it make these tables as an intermediate table. Okay, this information get transferred to the memory, and it makes a table like this. Okay, into the memory. Similarly for this one, table B. Okay, then these tables get formed into a operand. Okay, you know the operand, like this. Let me tell you. Whenever you are working with any kind of operators like this, if I'm working with the 5 plus 4, then this plus sign is my operator, and this becomes my operand. Okay, 5 and 4. Similarly with like this one, these would become my operand, and this would become my operator. Okay, and it would take actually two passes. Okay, one pass to make an intermediate table and start joining, and it would make after just after making a join through this set operator, it would make another pass through this join to check like if there is any duplicate values or not. Okay, so this is a two-step processing. In the first step, you will have the information from A, and similarly with B, it would transfer into a become a operand in the backend, and the operation is performed. And after that, there is a second operation that will be performed to check if there is any duplicate values present into the these final output or not. Is there anyone who has any doubt till now in the processing?
No.
Okay. Okay, and also as I said, you can join more than two tables. You have to mention another set operator, and you can mention it like this: select star from C. Now, guys, tell me like what is the backend processing for the same? Hint is that this is not going to be similar with this one. Just make an idea and give me your suggestions and like what will be the processing in the backend.
It will first check in between A and B, then the output will be checked by C.
Um, maybe you're similar. Maybe you're saying like this. Maybe correct. But is there anyone else who would like to try? Okay. So this is the further similar previous step. Okay. It would have the information from A, and it would have information from B. It would transform into intermediate table. It also transforms to intermediate table, or you can say operand. It start the performing operation. It was take a pass to check any duplicate values. Then this whole lot of query becomes an operand for this query and this operator. Another this combined table would behave as an operand for this table C, and there would be another pass to check if there is any duplicate values. Okay. Is there anyone who has
Okay.
any doubt till now? Only few persons are speaking, Priyanka and maybe someone. Okay, we have discussed accept. We have discussed intersect. Now comes with the vertical join. Sorry, union join. Who would like to try to explain this?
All the rows from table A and table B will come.
All the rows. Okay.
I mean, observations.
Then maybe you have to change your answer into this join. I will discuss this join later.
Okay, so all the uncommon rows from A and B and all the common rows from both of the table will come.
Okay. So the highlighted portion is saying something else and you are saying something else. Yes, you are right. Like, just be confident. Like in these observations, you will have a final output like this. You would have uh, a final till 5. Okay, and
Yes.
after that, you will have a this is a not common observations from B. This is 8 and 9. Okay, and these is are all
Yeah,
sorted.
because it will be removed from there.
Yes. Okay, let's come to outer join. There is a difference between union join and outer join. I have mentioned this note over here. Don't look at this and try to explain me this join.
It will append table B under table A.
Okay, and it is also doing the same. I do have table A till 5 and under after that I will do have the information of table B.
But it is removing the duplicate values. I think union all will not remove the duplicate values.
Okay. So let me give you the interpretation of this. Like it is actually used when you have a non-common variables. Okay, they
Okay.
it is not a good thing to achieve for the same tables. Okay, whenever you have a different kind of variable name, I have changed. If you have noticed from this table to this table, I have noticed. You have to notice. I have changed the variable names. Whenever you have a different variable names in both of these two tables, and if still you want to concatenate these data, then you have to use or outer join. This is most basically difference between outer join and union join. Okay, and let's have to discuss these two common operators, core and all. Does anyone know about this one? Maybe you guys have.
Arun, I have a question.
Hello, hello Arun. One question is,
Yes.
if suppose one column variable is there in B column, then what will be the output?
uh,
Uh,
which join you are talking about?
Outer union.
Outer union. And okay, so you are saying that one variable is common, right?
Right.
Okay, so suppose say if my ID is common, then these values are coming start over here. It will suppress this column, and rest of these columns will start from here.
Arun, if all the column names are same and we are using the outer union, then it will append, I mean, after table A,
Okay, let's try to
or it
execute.
will.
Let's try to execute into SAS. Maybe so ID name and okay, let's change it to sex. Okay, so this is your ID name and sex. These are the same uh, column names. Okay, oh, just a second. Okay, it is selected the same. Okay, this is your output. This is your output of outer join. Uh, this one. Okay, this is your output. Yes, I was wrong. Like this would not, come along this way. This would be remain into the same way. So you would might want to see like what is the difference. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so try to interpret the results. Maybe you would have a good knowledge to interpret these two results. This is my outer join and this is my simple join. Outer This is outer union and this is simple union. Even if my variable names are same, then definitely I would not be have to values like this in my final output because I cannot make any analysis on this. I cannot use first dot id. I cannot use the sum.
Arun, I have one query.
Yes, please.
For your table A, there are same values for ID 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Same for B.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have a different name for example, ID 2 in table B, instead of Shashi, if you have any other value,
Mm-hmm.
then is it possible? Is it will override the value of name, or it will give two records
No,
for
no.
ID 2?
Actually, you are confusing between horizontal join and vertical join. If you are merging with horizontally, then it would not change because it would check for the values. Similarly, SAS would treat this type of values as a different table and this one is a different table. It does not relate the values. If these are similar or different, it does not mean anything to SAS.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, there is a difference between outer union and union. You get the uh, final output like this, and maybe you do have a clear interpretation like when we have to use this one and when we have to use this one. If I want to have achieve the same information that I have in this format, why should I not go ahead with this union join? Why should I use outer join? Because it does not give me the information like this. Because if I start analysis on this data table, I cannot make any analysis on this because lots of missing values, lots of untreated values. This is mostly used when you have a different column names. Then you have the interpretation, yes, like this cannot be submerged in under the same column, because ID, or if I say over here this is a employee ID and this is ID of a different department, then I can easily tell them, yes, this is my different department ID and this is my different department ID. If ID is same, then why should not I go ahead with the simple union, where I have the clearly tell that this is the same department that I'm dealing with, or department A, department B. Okay, so this is the difference. So that's why I mentioned over here, it is mostly used when you have a different column names. Okay, let's talk about okay, and one more interview question for you. Let's see who will try to solve this one. Suppose say this is my data. Okay, I have to remove these duplicate values from this data. If you guys have access to your SAS, just make your own data and make this variable as an ID, and just remove these duplicates from these joins that I have discussed. As I said, into this backend, it will check for the first pass, and into the second pass, it will check for the duplicate values. How many of you have installed SAS or have access to the or your online SAS?
I have.
Okay, Priyanka. So you also try, and I request to all of you, make your own data set, and just let me give you should have to give me a unique values from this ID column through using of vertical joins. No, Mohit, we have to use the vertical joins. I have to tell another concept to remove duplicates.
Can we use union unique?
I don't know union unique. I know only union. I have to use only these joins, any of the join vertically. I do have except, I do have vertical, I do have intersect, I do have union, I do have outer union. Mohit, there are other method as
And
well. Sachin is saying union all. Okay. All I did not discuss till now, Sachin. So you have to use only uh, without additional keywords. If you understand the backend process for the same, you can easily track down. You guys cannot be so silent during the interview.
Can we use distinct keyword
No, Priyanka,
when we are selecting?
you have to use only vertical joins. Let me try it myself on as well.
We can make a temporary table of dataset A named V.
Just try and send me the code. I will check it simultaneously. Okay, I have done it. Maybe you guys had did not notice I repeat this thing many times. Like in the backend processing, it take a second pass to check for the missing to make a pass to check for the duplicate values. It is alternatively to no do. It check all the rows check for the duplicate values for all the columns. If I make a join for the same data set or table A, then you would have a non-duplicate values like this. See this output 1 to 510. These are the unique values. So these are the small things that will help you to crack your interview, and you can make a great impression on your interviewer, because definitely he would not gonna be asking you what is Noduk and Noduk if you are showing your experience around 1+ year or 2 year. It also checks your analytical skill as well, side by side, how much aptitude you have. So is there anyone who has any doubt till now using union and all of these things?
No.
Okay. Okay, and I would also uh, ask you one another question that is also for the interviewer perspective. This is also a good interview question. Suppose say I do have a two variable into the table A, ID and sex, and another one I do have a ID and salary. And just for an instance, just forget like what are the column names. Just I'm giving you the interpretation so that you can understand. Suppose say you have a table 1 in which you have ID and sex column, and into the table B, table 2, you have ID and salary. Okay, I just mention over here so that you can interpret like what are the column names over here. If I ask you like without opening these two data sets, how can you tell like what is the common name? What is the common name?
Hello.
ID.
ID is equal.
No, id is equal. I do know this id is equal, but without opening. Suppose say my table has these two columns. I did not open it. Okay, I just mention over here. Suppose say id is common. Okay, let's remove this. Now I too have a table too. I do know there is a id column is common. How can I, have the information from the SAS that yes, id is column, id is common. Okay, this is another topic I would discuss through these joins. Okay, let's talk about the additional two keywords that we left with. There was that this is core and all. Okay, if you guys notice, I include a keyword all over here. What I'll do is it suppress the second step of the vertical joins. It joins the table and it would not check for the duplicate values. Whatever the information that it is getting from the table A, it going to concatenate the same information if it is has the same common into the from the table A and to the table A same. I do have 1, 1, 2, 2, 10, and 5. If I use all, then it would not check for the duplicate values, so that in the final output you would have duplicate values. Till over here, this is your table A, and after that, this is your another table A. It would not check for duplicate values. Okay, is there anyone who can let me know the significance of this all? Like, yes, I can use this all when I am not, I don't need to take any tension if there is any duplicates present in my data. Anyone would like to try? It has a significance over the banking data. It has the significance over clinical data. If your patient is going to be treated on the same day for the multiple diagnoses, then you don't have to worry about the duplicate values, right? You can use all option, all additional keyword. Similarly, with the banking data, if you have a multiple transaction on the same day, then it would not suppress the duplicate rows, right? So I hope you guys understand what is all this all additional keyword do, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about this additional CORR. This is corresponding. I hope you will get your answer. Let's try to join these two tables. Let's change the column names. Okay, so this is your output of these two tables. This is your output. Now you guys tell me like what is happening. But what core is exactly do is it only take the common variables from the two tables and join these according to the operator that I am providing. If I specify options like this, union CORR, you would have an output like this. Okay, the name, sex, and from the table B, and also that employee name and new sex column will be suppressed from the final output. So this is the way you can tell your interviewer if interviewer want to ask you like what is, without opening my data sets or tables, how can I identify my common variable. So this is the most important option for you. This is this is corresponding operator, abbreviated as CORR. It only merge your the common variable name. This is the way you can tell him or her that this is the way I can tell. If we have more than one or two or three, it take only the common variable names, and do note it the variable attributes should be same. Okay, so I have covered two most important interview questions to you. Okay, whenever a interviewer wants to ask you like how would you treat the duplicate values, then you need to tell him or her that you do these ways. One is no dup key, one is no dup, another one is first dot and last dot option, another one you have uh, distinct keyword through proxyql, another one you have this, I just mentioned this all word, all additional keyword. I hope you guys found this lecture very useful. Maybe you guys have a additional information than me. So I would request to share your knowledge over the group so that also we can simultaneously increase our knowledge. So is there anyone who has any doubt till now? Is there anyone who would like to add something?
Do we always need to use core keyword with the union, or we can use it separately?
No, no, like these are the additional operators that you can use with these union operators. But you cannot
Okay.
use this only core without these operators, these vertical joins keyword, because these are the additional
Okay.
flexibility that is provided. Okay, so is there anyone else who would like to share some doubt or who did not understand anything?
Uh, like in left join, right join, we mentioned the keyword left join, right join.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any other way without mentioning that we can do the left join or right join?
When we are using base as merging concept, we do have a internal flags. Maybe you do have the knowledge of by using the keyword in equals. Okay,
Yes, I have.
so in the ProSQL, we do not have the availability of these additional flags. Okay, so that's why SAS do is it came out with these additional keyword left join and right join, because in the concatenation, if you did say in my first PPT, mm, yes, uh, this is your left anti-join. Okay, because SAS into the proxy call does not able to figure it out, like this id values are belong from table A or this id column is id values are belong from B. Okay, so that's why we have to use the left join. It tells SAS that I only need values that are only a part of table A, because into the base SAS we do have the flexibility to use in operator and in flags. Okay, so we can make a condition,
Okay.
but in the proxycle we do not have, so that's why we have to use a left join, right join and something like that. And an additional I want you guys to research on this, what is this actually on means over here. Okay, so I would left this topic for you.
Hello, Arun.
Yes.
That is on statement means that is a common variable in both data sets. Suppose we consider in proc sort, suppose we using by is ID and name.
Mm-hmm.
So suppose in SQL we can use on a dot id is equal to b dot id and a dot name is equal to b dot name. Basically, it is used by sorting
It is actually used for
like that.
sorting. Are
Yeah,
you
that is correct.
are you just are you sure about this? Because I really don't have the knowledge about this.
Yeah, that is used for on. I think I'm using that. So
Because if this is happening, then this would not be the case uh, into this one, because over here into this condition I did not mention any on condition, because uh, it will by automatically into the Cartesian product or the joining, it sort the data automatically without using on. I did not use on over here. Maybe it does have any other interpretation, so you guys have to research on this. Maybe this question can be asked to you, that's why I'm asking to you.
okay.
Okay, and anyone else? This is the two topics that yes, and one more topic I have to cover, I forget about it. Does anyone know about uh, views in SQL? What are exactly views?
Yes.
Yes, can you explain like what is views in ProcSQL?
Uh, Views does not store data, it just store the query. And whenever we run the query, it fetches the data.
Okay, okay, let me try to create a view for you guys. So Okay, so my SQL view has been defined, work.run. Okay, there is a bit difference. Let me tell you guys like how it would work. Okay, so I created a table Arun1 and another I created a Arun. This is view. Maybe if you can see the icon, there is a slight bit different because there is a some kind of gear that is mentioned over this icon. What exactly means that it is actually a query. Okay, when I open this Arun1, it actually stored the data. Okay, this is your table. What is exactly view is, it does not hold the data. Whenever I open it, in the backend it runs the same query and fetch out the data. If I close it, it removes the backend data and it store it as like a query. It is like a stored compile process. Okay, so it is be very useful when you are dealing with particularly with joins, and suppose say if you have a more than 10 lakhs of rows, you can create a view of your data set according to your where condition and all that, and you can mention these two views into your final joins, whether you are dealing with horizontal join or vertical join, and in the backend it get calculated and it will save your lots of space in memory, because over here Arun does not have any physical space is acquiring. Over here Arun1 is taking space. It actually store a query only. Okay, uh, this query get is a part of this. Whenever double click it, it get executed like a F3 function. Similarly, you can create a view through the data step by mentioning additional view option like this. When you run it, you get a view like this. Okay, and suppose say your shift get changed. Okay, and your colleague just left the PC and it removes the code like this. Okay, and you go ahead and check into the work library, that you get to see, oh, there is a store query. Okay, then how can you view the code like what he actually described? You can use the describe statement and execute it. Okay, so into the log window you can have the information that what exactly been is into the this query E. So what exactly he defined was data E and set help dot class. Okay, so this is the your data step view. So I have discussed some three additional topics other than this class, and most of I have covered into the proc SQL. And if there is by mistake is anything is left, then please do let me know. Otherwise, we will start into the next class is your macros, and after that, in I think 2 classes or more, just me it hardly required 3 class. Otherwise, I will cover this whole lot of macros in 2 classes. So please keep revising the concepts. It's just an implementation into the advances. If you know the backend process, there would not be any doubt.
Arun, will you tell self join?
Self join, you can, you want to say reflexive join?
like if we have the one table,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I mean like I have in a one table name, employee, and the senior manager.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard it? I mean self join.
Self join is actually called as a reflexive join, where the same information it getting merged with the same values of the same data set. Okay.
Yeah, I mean to say same.
Okay. So what it exactly do is, and maybe I forget about the particular keyword, but it is called it as a reflexive join. Maybe it is as a self join. I'm not sure about the syntax. Maybe not like this. Okay, so this is your kind of a reflexive join, like your first observation get merged with the rest of these, all of the 19 observations. So this is kind of a reflexive join, you can say, or self join. Okay, so according to your where condition and all that, you can compare these values within the same data set or table. But if you ask me the significance of it, uh, maybe I do not have the enough words to explain, but it is usually done when you have to compare the performances of the consecutive values that you have. It is basically used when I had this topic discussed with my manager, so he actually told me that this kind of concepts are usually done when you have to compare the observations with another values, because you do have all the cases. Okay, there is a no cases that you don't have in the final output. You would have a 19 cross 19 rows. Okay, so you can make your own interpretation. Prinka, I do not have yes, I will conduct a macro class next Sunday, and if by mistake if I left any topic in ProcSQL, do let me know. I will cover that thing up into the next class. And this is all for today. And I hope that this class would be very helpful for you in your cracking your interviews, or maybe that would add some information into your current information. Okay, and there is a also, if you guys do know, I discussed in the first class, I discussed two additional keyword except and no, not exist. So this one gives you a inner join, and this one give you a left join. Okay, so this is also a another interview question you can be asked, but it rarely happen. Okay, if someone wants to ask you like I don't want I want to have a only left join without using the left join, then how can I achieve that? You can say to him or her that I can use the not exist keyword. Okay, and exist give you the inner join. The more you practice with joins, the more you will be proficient into this one. Okay, and I will be conducting macro class next Sunday, and within like two classes or two and a half classes, I will be finished with macros, and your whole bases and advances will be over, and you can start giving your interviews as per according to your knowledge. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining today, and we'll meet you into the next Sunday. Okay.
Thank you, Arun.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thanks, Arun.
Thank you, Arun.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Arun.
Arun.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, Arun.
Thank you, Arun.